Hello everyone. Let's get started with our new glued sounds. And think about when we mark these words, since they're glued sounds, what do? We will box them in. Here we go. STLE, castle, sul. TION, vacation, shun. SION, mansion, shun. SION, television, jeune. Nice job. And let's practice all of our vowel sounds. Here we go. You know what I want you to do? I'm going to just read the tricky ones, and then I want you to pause on the screen, and I want you to practice doing them instead of repeating after me today. Sometimes I think wash, squash can be hard for everybody. Wash, a squash, ah. Alaska, that can be tricky. Flu, ooh, and rule, ooh. An animal, or eh. So now pause and pretend you're the teacher and do all of the sounds. Okay, how'd you do? Did you do them all? If you didn't, pause now and do all of them. I gave you a little break from listening to me do them today. Okay, let's go ahead and do a new word of the day. It is a word that has 3 syllables. So I've got my 3 syllable frames here. What does my first syllable say? X. What does my second syllable say? Pan. And let's take a look at my third syllable. Shun. And you're right, this could also say jeune, but in this word it's expansion. Expansion. An expansion is when something gets bigger, it expands. The other way to do shun would be TION, but in this word it's SION, shun. Expansion, expansion. Let's look at some other words on these syllable frames that we would start the same way. We would start by using all of our syllables and breaking them down one part at a time. See if you can read this one. I have an open syllable. What does it say? Pro. I have a closed syllable. Tech. And TION says shun. So what's my word? Protection. And when we were to mark these words, we would scoop the syllables and we would underline and mark a box around our glued sound, shun. Okay, let's do another. We have our 3 syllable scoops. Watch as I write this one. What's my first syllable? X. 10. SION. Shun. Put it all together. Extension. Extension. An extension is when you're given more time to do something. You extend the time. Extension. Okay, let's go back to the first word that we had here, which was our word of the day today. And it started like extension, but it was expansion. Can anyone think of a sentence for expansion? Oh, like maybe they're doing an expansion at the mall to make more stores, or an expansion on your house to build a new room. Okay, let's start with a sentence like that. They are building an expansion on my house. Okay, so there's our word of the day, expansion. Let's mark it. Let's box in this glued sound, shun. And in your student notebook, it will be your job to enter the word and, of course, the sentence. So you need to go into your student notebook and find the vocabulary section, right? And find the letter E, where you can go ahead and enter expansion and mark it in the sentence. So pause here until you get the word and the sentence in. Okay, if you're back, I'm guessing this is all done and entered. And we are going to go into dictation on paper. So you should have your notebook paper that looks like this. If you don't have it, you can use normal paper, or you can also always use your whiteboard if you need to. Okay, pause until you're ready, and we will start with 4 sounds. Repeat after me. Shun. Write all the ways to do shun. There are 2. Use your student notebook for help if you need. Number 2, soul. Write the sound soul. Number 3, jeune. Write the only way to do that glued sound, jeune. And number 4, I. There's 3 ways to make the long sound I. Write all 3. Okay, pause until you're done. We had shun, sul, jeune, I. And then you can check your sounds with mine. Notice for the long I, it's vowel consonant E, and then just I like in an open syllable, and then Y like in cry. Okay, pause until you fix those up. Then we'll go down to the next row. We'll do some words. Repeat after me. Ugliness. What's the base word? Ugly. Then tap out ugly and turn it into ugliness. Once you've written it, please underline the base word, circle the suffix, and do what sound the Y. You should have had something change. I want you to mark the sound of that I that was the same sound as when it was a Y. See what I'm talking about? Ugly ended in a Y, but the I changes to an I because we're adding a suffix ending, and it sounds like a long E. Ugliness. Okay, let's go over to number 2, the next word. Repeat after me. Noble. He was a noble king. Let's do the syllables. No, bull. Now this is where it's tricky. Is it a consonant LE or is it a schwa? You can check in your spelling options. Noble. And I want you to mark the syllable types and the vowel sounds. Okay, my friends. Ready to check it to mine? This was not a vowel consonant E word. It's a schwa. So the first syllable, no, is open. So we put a macaron over the O, and the second syllable is closed in, but the vowel sounds like a schwa. We don't really even hear it. Sometimes that happens. That's what can be tricky about consonant LE. Let's go down to the next row. Repeat after me. Whistle. Let's do the syllables. Whistle. Okay, I hear that O at the end. Soul. Think about those glued sounds that we know when you hear soul at the end, like castle. And let's go ahead and box in the glued sound that you hear in it and show it to me. Whistle. S-T-L-E. Whistle. There's another way that we can mark whistle. I want you to write the word again. And this time I want to scoop it with you. So whistle would have a consonant LE on its second syllable. We could break whistle up into the first part being closed and a short I, and then this being consonant LE and cross off the E because we don't hear it. Whistle. And we would also have to cross off the T because we don't hear it. And we put the X through the LE because it's a rule breaker. We don't say whistle, we say whistle. Okay, 2 different ways to mark that word. All right, nice job. I know the marking can be tricky. Let's keep practicing. Here's the next one. Protection. Let's do the syllables. Pro-tec-shun. Spell it out and think about which shun. Pro-tec-shun. Check in your spelling options if you need to. Box in the glued sound and scoop the syllables. Check yours to mine. Protection. Okay, one more word. Repeat after me. Bottle. Bottle. Scoop the syllables and label the syllable types and vowels. Bottle. When you're ready, check it to mine. We have a closed syllable and then a consonant LE. Okay, let's go down to sound-alike words. Listen to my first sentence. What are you going to wear to the dance? Wear. What are you going to wear? And number 2, meat. Do you like to eat meat? Okay, check that you have the correct wear and meat. And let's do a few trick words that you should hopefully know by now. And if you don't know these, it just means to keep working on them. Number 1, friend. Number 2, were. What were they doing? Friend, were. And we will end with one sentence today, my friends. Repeat after me. At the conclusion of the show, you'll need to go to bed. At the conclusion of the show, you'll need to go to bed. Let's do conclusion together. Con, clue, jun. Listen closely. Conclusion. At the conclusion of the show, you'll have to go to bed. You'll need to go to bed. Okay, pause and work on this sentence. Okay, if you're back, please check that you started with an uppercase and ended with a period. And check you'll. It's a contraction. It means you will. You will need to go to bed. It should have an apostrophe. Okay, check yours to mine. At the conclusion of the show, you'll need to go to bed. Pause here and fix up anything you need to fix up. Okay, let's scoop it and read it. At the conclusion of the show, you'll need to go to bed. Read it smoothly. At the conclusion of the show, you'll need to go to bed. Nice job, friends. Go back through and read all the words and sounds you wrote to practice doing it fluently. And then you are done for today. See you next time.